Hey guys, what is up? This is Gothcat, and I'm finally back on YouTube. Yeah, I've pretty much been like AWOL for so long because I guess after getting a new job where I work, late at night, sometimes up to like 3 in the morning, I guess I had a hard time like fitting YouTube into my schedule, and so I guess for this little comeback, what I'm gonna do is basically go back to this channel's origins, and I'm actually gonna re-narrate Jeff the Killer versus Pinkie Pie. Yes, the very first story that I narrated on this channel, Jeff the Killer versus Pinkie Pie. I've actually wanted to do a little special, do this re-narration special for quite some time now, maybe, I don't know, over a year or two. But since I've been gone for so long, I think this is the perfect opportunity to, both warm up so that I can actually go back to making YouTube videos and make that special at the same time. So, okay, that is enough chit chat. Right now, this is Jeff the Killer versus Pinkie Pie. Enjoy. In a town known as Ponyville, there lived a sweet earth pony called Pinkie Pie. She seemed to be nice in appearance and character, but inside, she secretly was a mass murderer who cut up other ponies and baked them into cupcakes. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the characters went missing in the TV show. For example, do you remember Gilda the Griffin? Do you remember that she came to have a party? Did you notice that when she left, you never seen her again in the series? The reason why is because before she flew away, she got captured by Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie still has her skull in her basement. Who knows when she will strike next? Later that night, who was once a 13-year-old boy, now is a cold-blooded psychopath. Jeff the Killer had emerged from the trees of the night. He noticed the town ahead and stopped, looking confused. Jeff recognized the town in an instant. Was he dreaming or hallucinating? Because what he saw before his eyes, he could see the town known as Ponyville from My Little Pony was right in front of him. Thought for a moment maybe he got here somehow by magic. He didn't care. He was getting the feeling again, so he thought he would wait for one of the ponies to come out light until they can't see it. He waited for some time until one pony started walking in his direction. She was orange with a yellow mane. Jeff soon came to notice that this was Applejack from the series. She was heading towards him. Jeff looked behind him and saw that there were a load of apple trees behind them. Jeff got up, and when she was about 4 meters, she stopped because she could see Jeff's white hoodie. She stepped back. "Don't be afraid. I just want to help you get to sleep," Jeff said. Then he walked slowly towards her. Applejack could make out his face. She screamed, and the other ponies heard her. Jeff jumped onto her and held her down on the ground. "Shh, just go to sleep." Jeff raised his knife and stabbed it where the heart was. Applejack passed away. The other ponies started to panic. Pinkie Pie stepped forward. "I'll just go see why she's screaming." Pinkie Pie walked out into the darkness, and then she got jumped on. Pinkie Pie looked up and saw Jeff's face. She screamed as well and ran with Jeff on her back into the light. The other ponies saw the monster on Pinkie Pie's back, and they all ran and hid. Pinkie Pie rolled over and fell off Pinkie Pie's back. Then Pinkie Pie grabbed a ladder and knocked Jeff unconscious. Jeff woke up in a dark room and found himself pinned down to a table. "Shit, I got caught." Jeff looked around the room and saw Pinkie Pie. "Well, you will do just fine for my new flavor of cupcakes. Human flavor." So last episode was true, a creepypasta. You do turn your friends into cupcakes. Pinkie Pie nodded. Yep, and you are my next flavor because you're the first human to come into this land. Jeff got angry. Human? I am no human! Jeff tried to break the cuffs by pushing his arms against them. A loud groan came from the metal of the cuffs, and soon one of them snapped off. Jeff reached for the other one. I don't think so, yelled Pinkie Pie. She grabbed a meat cleaver and ran towards Jeff. She swung it down with a grin on her face. Jeff moved his head to the side as the meat cleaver just missed his ear. Jeff's foot got free and he kicked Pinkie Pie across the room. Jeff pulled at the cuff on his hand with all his strength, and soon the cuff snapped off his hand. Pinkie Pie grabbed a hand and saw and swung it at Jeff. Then she realized she missed completely, and she hit the cuff onto the other foot. The cuff broke off his foot. Jeff was free. Jeff pulled his knife out of his pocket. Now you get to feel what I feel all the time. Pain! Jeff walked slowly towards Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie wasn't done yet. She grabbed a hammer and swung it at Jeff. She hit him in the side and broke his rib. No one can kill me. Not even you. Jeff got up, grabbed Pinkie Pie, and threw her towards the stairs. He grabbed her by the hair and dragged her up the stairs, down the hall, and out the front door. She threw her out the front door, and she hit the ground with a thud. Pinkie looked around. She could see all her friends watching. So you have been hiding what you've done all this time and no one knew? Jeff yelled. Admit what you did to all the visitors in Rainbow Dash. Tell them my ponies have disappeared. Pinkie Pie ran. Jeff followed. Jeff was catching up fast, and soon he grabbed her by the tail and swung her towards the tree. He held her down as she looked at him. Up at him. So, you're going to ruin everything? She said, sobbing. Jeff stared down at her for what seemed like an eternity as the other ponies watched. Then Jeff finally spoke. Shh, just go to sleep. He sliced her throat and she choked to death and died. Jeff stood up and looked at the others. I may be a killer, but she was worse. I don't know if you noticed, but Rainbow Dash is gone because of her. The other ponies stared at him. Then one that was yellow with pink mane stepped forward. How do we know if you're just lying so we can feel bad about her? Jeff pointed his knife at Pinkie Pie's front door. Go into her basement and tell me if I'm wrong. They did as she said, and they saw the things she's done. They saw the skulls of their friends, and they were shocked. All the cupcakes they were eating that Pinkie Pie made were of the organs of their friends, and they found Rainbow Dash all sewed up in the corner. And they saw the dress made out of key marks of their friends. Jeff put his knife in his pocket and walked away into the distance, never to be seen again. So, that was Jeff the Killer versus Pinkie Pie. I'll admit, there's not really much to say about the story that hasn't already been said before. So I'm just going to point out, I guess, the few new things that I have noticed since I narrated it for the first time. Okay, first thing, I think I might have narrated that story before I actually watched much of the My Little Pony series, and it's still been a while since I made any progress. I think I stopped in the middle of like the third season. But yeah, guess who the yellow one with the pink mane is? I'm pretty sure that one was Fluttershy. They just didn't mention her name. I also noticed that there was like a few run-on sentences, mainly in the form of like a pair of sentences that didn't have the proper punctuation between them, amongst other lack of punctuation. I still gotta say though that I guess this is a bit nostalgic for me, just because it's such a classic in the crappy pasta community, as niche as it is. Yeah, the funny thing is, long after the story was written, of course, we all did see Jeff again, and we probably will continue to see Jeff again, despite the last sentence in that story. Like I said, there's not really much to say. Oh, one other thing. I guess it kind of took me a while after I first narrate to realize it's actually in the section called "Not Sure If Troll." Not really. I definitely have to agree with the title. It could either be some poorly written fan fiction or some troll pasta with a really goofy and fun story. But either way, it's still a fun read, you know. Kind of like Thanksgiving can be fun to watch. Um, like I said, not much else to say. I guess strangely this kind of reminds us how crappy pastas are have been around for so long. I mean, the date on this one is like November 13th, 2013. This has been like 5 years, and probably a couple of years after Jeff the Killer was written. And obviously in My Little Pony G4, probably the third season. Um, but anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this revamping of my original narration. Next time, I'm gonna continue my narration of 120 Days of Sodom. If not, I'll try to wrap up. Totally Overrated, because I still need to finish that fucking series that's just way too fucking old. Whenever I cut off a bunch of different stories, and I just want to get rid of this thing. You know, I just want to get that series done with. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed. This is Gothcat signing out. Thank you and goodbye.